Hello. Good morning. I'm doing okay today. Morning.
Good morning.
Wow, nice. Being an entrepreneur. Morning. Sorry.
Okay, we're good to go. Thanks. You ready? Yeah. All right. Hi, good morning and welcome everyone. My name is Tracy Irby and I'm the director here at the Center for Women Entrepreneurs. We have a treat for you today, so glad to see so many of you here. For those of you that aren't familiar with the center, we were funded in 2015 by the state legislature just to help promote women entrepreneurs anywhere in the state of Texas. And they thought, what better place to put that than at TWU? You don't have to be affiliated with the university, though, to take advantage of our services. We are part of the larger Jane Nelson Institute for Women's Leadership. We are dedicated to preparing more women to take on successful roles in business and public service. We have 3 specialized centers: our center, the Center for Women Entrepreneurs, the Center for Student Leadership, and the Center for Women in Politics and Public Policy. We have exciting news about a gallery that's opening later down the hall, which will be open to the public soon. So we invite you all to come back as well. So what we like to do is know who is in the room. So we want a very quick everyone to say their name and what their business is. You guys want to start or not, or or that you're a student, that's okay.
Hello, my name is Sarah Cortez. I'm part of the LHS Incubator EDU class. And
Great, thank you. Online, you guys can put your information in the chat.
I'm part of the incubator class. Hi, I'm Andrew Campbell. I'm part of the incubator class. My name is Merrilee. I'm part of the incubator class.
My name is Kaya. I'm part of the incubator class. My name is Leah, and I'm just a student.
My name is
Hi, everybody. I'm Pam Baker. I am an accounting and finance professor here and chair of the department. We'd love to talk to you guys if anybody's interested.
Either side.
Hi, I'm Amy Milton. I own the BuzzBallz.
My name's Kate Alfred. I own Pie by Kate.
I'm Sarah Rutherford. I just work for Amy.
I'm Linda Bullwinkle. I own Financial Fitness.
Christy Metcalf. I own CEO Learning Systems.
Pamela Temple. I don't know anything yet, but want to.
I'm Kaya, and I'm a part of Incubator EDU at LHS.
Hi, I'm Sonora. I'm part of the Incubator EDU class at LHS.
Hi, I'm Ladavia.
I'm a part of the Incubator class.
Hi, I'm Nevaeh. I'm also part of the incubator class.
morning. My name is Paulina and I'm part of the incubator class.
I'm Siobhan Welch and I own Power 9 Virtual School.
Hi, I'm Jessica DeLeon. I want to start my own website.
Hi, my name is Angela. I'm part of the incubator class.
Hi, my name is Elaine. I'm just a student. Hi, my name is Gertrude May Scott and I'm a student at LHS Maine. Hi, my name is Valerie. I'm a student and I also have my dessert business.
Hi, I'm Monica Story. I'm the associate principal at Louisville High School and came with these students from LHS Incubator Program.
My name is Nicole Francois. I'm the incubator teacher and the one who made them wake up.
Hi, I'm Laura Beaver and I own Courage and Community Counseling.
Good morning. My name is Samantha Travis, founder of Burden's Cry for Suicide Prevention and Mental Health Awareness.
Hi, my name is Sarah Jimenez. My business is marketing event planning every year.
Good morning. My name is Adriana Vilgavillo. I am not a student. I'm a relationship manager for commercial businesses at Bank of America.
Good morning. My name is Bridget Roberts. I'm with Bank of America.
I have to see people. I can't do this half the room thing. Hi, I'm Samantha with Heavenly Tailored Sweets. I own a custom bakery here in town that does cakes, cupcakes, cookies, pies, all the sweet things.
Hi, I'm Sarah Langworth and I am involved in Community Bakers.
I'm Jennifer Hardman, founder of TWU Bakers. It's a new platform to connect and support cottage bakers with consumers.
And I'm Natasha Moser and I'm a marketing director for Community Bakers.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Cindy Turk. I own CM Promotions. We are a wedding planning company in DFW.
My name is Tennille Massengale with You Are the Difference. I'm the founder and we promote kindness in the classroom, community, and in the corporate world.
Good morning, I'm Fola Omojola. I'm a commercial real estate agent.
Great, thank you. I'd like to introduce our staff as well. So you've seen Donna Lisa Stinyard. She is our program director.
Good morning. Thanks for coming this morning.
We have Kimberly Nielsen online. She is our statewide program manager, and she'll be helping those of you online. So if you have questions or anything. And then we also have Barbara Rente online as well. So we're all so happy to see all of you today. Again, so excited that our speaker is here in person today. You guys are in for a treat. So Merrilee Kick is the CEO, founder of BuzzBallz LLC, Southern Champion, located in Carrollton, Texas. She was a high school teacher working on her master's degree when she invented her flagship product, BuzzBallz, a premium premixed cocktail brand. Merrilee graduated from the University of Montana with a bachelor's in finance, computer science, and economics, and Harvard Business School's OPM 55. She is a TWU alumna, graduated Magna Cum Laude with a master's in business administration. She's been the recipient of numerous prestigious awards, including 2020 Top Women in Grocery winner, 2020, 2021 WPO 50 fastest growing women-owned business
I don't think
brands.
you need to go through all those.
There's only one more. No, and 2018 Ernst and Young Entrepreneur of the Year, Southwest.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the warm welcome. Welcome to the LHS students and thanks to TWU as well for inviting me here. I appreciate it. I'm happy to see you guys. I can really tell a difference with the age of the people in this room. The confidence level that women get as they get older is incredible. You know, you stand up here and say, I do this, this is what I do, I'm proud of who I am and what I did. And you don't ever want to say, I'm just whatever. you know, you want to say with pride, I'm part of the entrepreneurship program at LHS, and I'm going to be the next billionaire. You know, so, you know, come in it with confidence that you are willing to make a difference, okay? So that's one of the things I want to mention about women in general. Women are the caretakers of society, but we're also the ones that come to the fight. If you have a problem in your business and you need quick action, get your women. They are like a tribe that will come and help you. They'll roll up their sleeves, they'll do whatever. They come together, they band together, and they get stuff done, okay? That's a big difference between men and women. Men do things differently, not worse, but differently. Women can also be your biggest enemy too, because they fight, you know, and they're very competitive. But if you have some good women on your team, be sure and pick people that are strong, that fit your culture, like your personality, and that they have good skills that can help you be a better, more complete you, okay, and help your business. My company, BuzzBallz, Southern Champion, I was a high school teacher. I taught business law, computer science, entrepreneurship, sports entertainment marketing, a lot of things, whatever they threw at me, I had to teach. And I love being a teacher. I love students. My parents were teachers. Their parents were teachers. I come from a long line of teachers. So teaching is in my blood. I loved it, but it doesn't pay a lot. And I was about to get a divorce and I had no money. And I had 2 sons that I had to take care of. And I was worried I'd be living out of my car on my $50,000 a year salary. So I started going to Texas Women's University, and during my capstone project, the last project that I had, I created the idea of a BuzzBallz. I was grading papers by the side of the pool, drinking a cocktail, and the idea came to me that, hey, I could make this little snowball, round little ball shaped cocktail. Wouldn't it be cool if I could make a little party ball, you know, type thing. So I came up with the idea, but I didn't know how to do it. So I could see it in my mind, even though I didn't have all the angles wrapped up. I could see what I wanted to make, but I didn't know how to do it. So I started researching for warehouses and figuring out who does manufacturing. And I figured out what a warehouse operation looked like. I'd never seen a pallet rack before, or pallet jack, or filler machines, but I Googled everything and I researched. And I think that's one of the things that school teaches you to do, is be a good researcher. So don't be afraid to dig your heels in or your tennis shoes in and just dig and research as hard as you can. Keep a notebook, keep track of everything that you do and everybody that you talk to, and remember them when you finally get into business and you get something created. Go back to them and say, let me show you, I did it, you know, and you can make things come true. I have a sizzle reel. I make alcoholic beverages. I don't know that all of you have seen them. So I wanted you to play a short sizzle reel. I call it a sizzle reel because it's short and it kind of highlights what our company does. We make ready to drink cocktails. We sell to distributors. They sell to the retailers like 7-Eleven, and then you buy it from them. We make all kinds of things. We make ready to drink cocktails. We make rum, vodka, gin, bourbon, all kinds of things like that. Yeah. And I couldn't bring samples because this is school. But I can show you what it looks like. So if you can blow that up for me, please. We have 5 of these giant buildings that Like the name of my truck, it's called So that gives you kind of a taste of what our operations look like.
My job is to make college.
There we go. Back to the session. So that kind of gives you an idea of the company and what we do, what we make. We make all kinds of plastic containers. We also fill in bottles. We do private label for 7-Eleven. Private label means they asked us to build them a drink and put it on their shelves. Same thing with HEB. HEB is a big grocer here in town. Okay, so I wanted you to take a look at something on your desk. And I want to go through some of these things. We talk about what's the difference between an entrepreneur and a business owner. Okay? So an entrepreneur, like me, I do things differently than a normal business owner would. So here's some of the characteristics, and I'm going to go through some of them. An entrepreneur doesn't like rules. They don't like being told what to do. They can't work for other people very well. They're an individual performer. They like to go solo. One thing that at Texas Women's University, when I was getting my final capstone project done here in creating BuzzBallz, they have a team project. And for those of you that work in team projects, I hate them. I hate team projects because I hate everybody I work with. Pretty much I'm just angry because I feel like they don't move fast enough for me. They don't keep up. They don't do their job. You know, just I felt like I had to do everything. I had to have control over everything. And I think that's a key thing for an entrepreneur. In fact, I was given a B by my peer review from everybody in my class. I had straight A's all through Texas Women's, through my master's, except for I got this one B from all these biddies that were in my group. And I was so upset. I went and talked to my master's degree professor, and I said, you know that I did all the work on this. You know I did the profit and loss. You know I did all of this stuff to make this thing happen. He said, yeah, I know, but you got to get along with other people. I'm like, I don't. He ended up giving me an A in that class, luckily. And then TWU came back several years later and gave me the Outstanding Alumni Award, which I thank you, which was kind of a cool way to kind of make me feel like it was worth it. You know, it was worth dealing with getting my master's degree and starting this project and grinding through the beginnings of starting a business. You never know if it's going to work when you start a business. You don't have a crystal ball, but you have to have a sanity test when you create something. So when you create, let's say it's a product like I have, you could either create a product or a service, right? And I'm going to use products just as a for example. You need to give it a sanity test. And this doesn't mean pitching the idea to your mom, okay? It needs to be somebody who doesn't really love you that much, you know? It's gotta be somebody that's out in the open, not your best friend. And just say, hey, if I gave you this, go into a random retailer, talk to the manager. If I gave you this, how would you display it? If I gave you this, what price would you charge for it? If I gave you this, who would buy it? Where would you put it in the store? So you start thinking about the marketing of that product, the product, how much does it cost, who would buy it, where to place it in the store. What kind of merchandising vehicle do I need? Does it need to be on its own specialty rack? Would you put it in a dump bin? Would you put it in a cool box door? You know, where would you put this? So think through your product and visualize it in a store and figure out what does it look like on the shelf with the competitive set next to it. Competitive set would be other alcoholic beverages, for example, for me. Or if you're making ketchup, what other sauces are going to be next to the ketchup and your product? How many facings will you have on the shelf? Will you have one facing wide, 2 ketchups wide, 3 ketchups wide? Will you get this much of the shelf? And would you be at eye level, which is the premium location? Or would you be up top or down on the lower rack, which is where all the cheap stuff goes? So keep that in mind when you go to a retailer. What are you looking for? The retailer strategically puts stuff right in the middle, right at mom's eye level when you come into that store. And it's usually mid-price to upper priced on that eye level. Okay. So you want to be at eye level if you can. Okay. Entrepreneurs dislike structure. They get bored easily. They're typically ADD. They're risk takers. So for example, they see an opportunity, a challenge, and they dig in and they love it. They're not afraid of it. They're afraid of many things, but they're not afraid of a challenge like that. Glasses half full. They think of the worst case items and prepare for it. They're very prepared, but in a different way. They're very likable and charismatic. They're exciting. I'm gonna call you out. They're rebels. Okay. They are people that like to push against the grain. They're people that like to be disruptors. They'll disrupt a conversation like I just did because they're not afraid to do so. In your meeting, in your board meeting, they'll say the most absurd, crazy things. You know these people, okay? They're the people that make the waves. They're visionaries. They can see what they want to make before it's actually made. And they don't really need a roadmap. They don't need to be told how to do it. They know that they can go get it halfway right. And if it's not 100% right, they can tweak it a little bit and then go another little bit forward and then tweak it a little bit and then go another bit forward. There's never a straight shot in entrepreneurship. You don't know at the beginning how everything's going to be. And then you just set off on this journey. You zigzag through that journey until you get to this end place and you look out over your warehouse or over your business and go, how did I get here? And it took years to get there and many, many steps. They typically are visionaries enough that they know what people will want before the people even know they want it. When I started BuzzBallz, no one knew that they would want a BuzzBall. It took forever to get people to even know and recognize what they were. And now many people know and recognize what they are, but this is 12 years in. Okay, so it takes some time. Entrepreneurs are very confident and proud. They change their mind frequently. They forget frequently what they said they were going to do. They like to control. It's hard for them to sell their company if ever comes the opportunity, because it's their baby. It's like giving their child away. You know, this is very personal to them. They work really hard. There is no vacation structure for an entrepreneur. They're always on. They're working 24/7, even on vacation, Even when they're asleep, they wake up at 3 a.m. and think about their biggest problem for that day. Now, a business owner, they're equally as successful, but different. A business owner on the right-hand side, they're more likely to say something like, hold on, let's wait a minute, let's work this out and think it through. Let's get the strategy in place, let's take our time and go through it. Let's do a big test out in the market, see if the market really likes it. Let's go over here and do this and see if these guys like it. Let's get some ideas from our board of directors and see if they all like it. It's a grueling process for an entrepreneur because it's so slow. You know, business owners will take the time to do that. They're typically CEOs or execs of big corporate companies. Okay? They understand finance and P&Ls, and they can do their banking relationships. They can do everything they need to do as a business owner. Now, they also have more free time. They're the ones that'll talk about work-life balance. They have time to exercise in the morning. You know, and it's not like an entrepreneur doesn't, but it's just that it's a priority, you know, as to, I gotta get this done. Where the business person is typically either they're working for someone else as a CEO or a president or a managing director of something, or they're owning their own franchise model of something that was already created. Like I have my own Chipotle, or I have a bunch of Subways, or I have a Jiffy Lube. You know, I can be home at 6:30 at night every night and have dinner and see my kids, and I can turn it off out of my brain. So there's the main key difference is they're following a format that was pretty much prescribed by someone else for the most part. They have rules, they have regulations, they have corporate protocol that they follow. That was one of the things that was hard for me being a teacher, as a matter of fact. The administration was very protocol driven. Here are the rules, here's what we should do. Here's how I want you to do it. That doesn't work well with an entrepreneur like me, where I've got a wall of shame on my back wall where kids can write whatever they want on the wall. Or when it snows and I say, let's go outside and have a snowball fight because it doesn't snow very often in Texas. But what if someone got hurt? But what about all the other kids? They don't get to go outside and play. I don't care about the other kids. I'm caring about my kids, you know? So it's a different mentality. You need to figure out where you fall on this chart. Either one is fine. You just need to figure that out. Okay. So those are some of the things that are important differences. One other key important difference, I think, between entrepreneurs and business owners is business owners trust. They trust their employees, and entrepreneurs don't. When someone says they're going to do something, an entrepreneur will go, we'll see when it gets done. But a business owner just expects it to get done, and if it doesn't get done, they'll write you up or have a disciplinary action. Okay, so that's just something fun, a little worksheet that I put together. You guys can take a look and kind of figure out where you fall. Everybody, whether you're on the left side or the right side, you're going to have to understand basic business structure. And part of that is, you know, understanding what your business requirements are going to be. You know, if you're starting a product, how big is this product going to be? How much space are you going to need to have? I started out with a small warehouse and quickly outgrew it. And I thought, well, if I add another 7,000 square feet, I'll be plenty fine forever. And then I went to 28,000 square feet. Now I'm at 500,000 square feet and it's still not enough. Because growth happens, you hope. Hopefully growth happens. You're gonna have to set up some way of doing your profit and loss. How many of you guys understand P&Ls? Okay, that's very important. So one of the first things you need to figure out is how much would someone pay for your product or your service? Realistically, not just your idea of what you want them to pay, but realistically, what would the market pay for your product? And then you kind of back into it and go, well, how much are my costs? If I'm doing a lemonade stand, how much is it going to cost me for the lemonade and the cup and the advertising and my time, the sugar, the garbage bag, you know, all those things that go into your cost of the goods. And then what's left over, okay? And then you've got other things like, oh my gosh, I created a product and I have to have some product liability insurance because what if somebody chokes on something that I made? Or it becomes poisonous or something like that. You have to have protections. And you know, so the insurance is that I need healthcare. You know, I want to have some healthcare. So you need to understand how to set all that stuff up. You need to understand if you want to have temporary employees or full-time employees. Temporary employees are great because you don't have to pay their healthcare. And you can call them on that morning and they show up and they come to work. Do they speak English? Maybe, maybe not. Is it important? Maybe, maybe not. So you have to figure out what kind of workers do you need? How many do you need? How are you going to manage and train them every day if it's a new crowd of people every day? And if you're doing a service type of business, what kind of skill set do those people need to have to sell your service and to maintain customer service? Customer service is really, really important. How many of you heard of Alibaba? Alibaba's cool. Because when you start your business, you can go out there and find almost anything. So let's say you want to create cuckoo clocks and you want to sell cuckoo clocks. Well, you can get on Alibaba and find somebody that manufactures cuckoo clocks. You don't have to go manufacture it yourself. The other thing you can do is you can find companies that make cuckoo clocks and create your own custom cuckoo clock. And they'll make it for you and ship it to you. So you have to find a way to source your goods. And in marketing, there's 4 P's in marketing, but there's really 5. So your product, what is your product or service? What is the price? Where are you going to place it in the store? How are you going to promote it or advertise it? And then who are the people that you're selling it to? Okay. The sales channels. Where are you going to sell your product? Is it going to be at a grocery store, a convenience store, a shopping mall, online? You're going to have a storefront? You know, visualize all this in your head when you create your company. Where is it going to take place? And how will people even know that you exist? A lot of times people will come up with a really cool idea, but then they don't advertise it anywhere and no one ever heard of them. I have a brother that's like that. He creates custom furniture and it's the coolest stuff. But he can't get his website organized and he doesn't do any promotional stuff. I give him business cards. I'm like, oh, this is a cool store. You should try to sell there. Call the manager. Here's their card. He won't do it. He's too shy. He's too embarrassed. And I'll say, oh, I want to buy that. How much is it? Well, how much do you want to pay? You know, it's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? You know, how much did it cost you? How much, you know, what's fair? You know. Your banking relationships are very important when you start your business. And usually when you start up your own sole business, nobody wants to touch you. No bankers will talk to you. No bankers will give you a chance. So if you find a banker that'll give you a chance, work with that for a while. I was given a chance by a company, it was before a Green Bank, it was called Opportunity Bank in Richardson. But I had gone to Wells Fargo, I had gone to all the big banks, asked for money, even went to my own bank where I had my savings and everything. It wasn't much, right? I was a teacher. So I went there and I asked for loans and they all reviewed my business plan and they said, no. You know, I'm like, but you're supposedly, you know, helping women, right? No. Went to their Chamber of Commerce in Plano and in Dallas. No, nothing. Nothing. What I learned is you have to do it yourself. Everything you have to do yourself. One day I got a random call from this small little bank out in Richardson and they said, hey, did anybody ever get back with you 6 months ago when you left a message for us? I said, no. And then they said, well, we kind of might be interested in talking to you. Wonderful. I got my first loan for like $187,000 to start my company. It was an SBA loan. And I had to pledge my car. I had to pledge cows as collateral. I had to pledge my house as collateral. Everything I owned was collateral. You think I was incentivized enough to make it work every day? Yes. Because if I lost it, I would have nothing. And when women are put in a position where their back is up against the wall and you could lose everything, you fight hard, you stay up late, you don't worry about, oh, I need time for me, I need some me time. No, you are working 24/7, baby. You're gonna make sure that that works. All right, super important, take your finance classes seriously. Understand how a profit and loss statement feeds a balance sheet and cash flow. That stuff's really, really important when you start your business. Get a CPA or a bookkeeper that can help you at your size. Don't go get Ernst and Young or something like that if you're just starting out. You know, get a small bookkeeper that can help you push through. Let your bad staff go. Okay, now when I'm talking about employees, I can put them in 4 different quadrants for you. You might hire your family and friends for your startup of your business, and that works so, you know, and it, you know, sometimes, especially if you're the mom of the people that work for you, then you're the kind of the boss anyway, right? But if it's your brother or your sister or your best friend, that becomes real tough, okay? And the only issue I can say about when you hire your children to work for you is every Thanksgiving, every meal becomes a boardroom conversation of stuff you wanted to talk about at work, and you become less personal with each other. The other thing, I hired my husband, he's my CFO. Pretty hard to give your husband a performance review at the end of the year. I mean, although I like doing it. But for staffing, okay, we have 4 different categories, and you gotta try to remember this. You will have high performers and high likability. Okay, if you had a quadrant, if I had a board, I'd draw it for you. But in the quadrant of high likability and high performance, those are superstars. Those are the Kobe Bryants of the world. You know, you can only have 1 or 2 maybe Kobe Bryants on a team, right? In your company, you have some superstars. They want to be well paid. They want to hog the limelight. They throw temper tantrums if they don't get their way, but everybody loves them, and you're afraid to lose. Then you also have people that are bad performers, but they're really well liked. They're the ones that hang out at the coffee bar. Everybody knows them. They cross their arms, they're telling jokes, they're talking about their weekend. We call those guys the lovable losers, okay? Because they don't really want to perform. They just like the social atmosphere there. And you have to really watch whether you want to fire these people or not, because they have so many friends, but you're setting a bar for everybody else that's working their butts off and seeing Billy over there just screw around. You also have people that you definitely need to fire. They are low performers and no one likes them. Just fire them. I don't care if it's your cousin. You have to fire them. And there's this saying that, I'm gonna be nice because it's cool. Poop doesn't smell any better with age. Okay, so what I'm saying with that is you can't stretch that out. You can't hope that it just gets better. It doesn't. And the sooner you nip it in the bud, the happier everybody will be. And then you're gonna have your last quadrant would be people that are high performers, but they have low likability, okay? So their likability quadrant, they're not really a culture fit for your company. And those people you'll put on a performance plan and tell them, look, Billy, you're just kind of weird, you know, you don't hang out with us, you don't do this company parties, we all do this, you're kind of a hater on this and that, and you just don't fit, you know. And it's hard to you can't change people, you can't change them. You can give them a performance review and tell them you don't like it, but they won't ever change. So culture is super, super important when you hire someone. Make sure that they fit your culture first, and then see if you can train them to fit the role. They can learn, they can grow. Okay. Understand your shipping terms. If you decide to ever ship overseas, understand your shipping terms. Ex Works, FOB, CIF. Those things are real important, Incoterms for shipping, because it means who pays for what. Okay. Understand what a customs bond is. That means it tells customs if you buy something from overseas from Alibaba that you're going to pay the customs duty on that. It's insurance for them. And then understand what harmonized tax codes are. Harmonized tax codes are the amount of tariff that customs is going to put on whatever you buy. So say for steel, there might be a 0% tariff because we don't make that much steel and we need to import it all. But maybe for plastic items, there might be a 3% tariff. So, and it just depends. And then when Trump came in office, he said, okay, I'm gonna raise the rate for aluminum imports to 25%. Well, guess what happened to the dummies like me? I use metal lids on my containers. I couldn't find metal lids anywhere all of a sudden. Because Monster Energy, Coke, Dr. Pepper, Miller Coors, all those guys went out and bought up all the lids because they were smarter. They had advisors that told them, hey, aluminum's gonna go crazy. So buy it all now, or else you're gonna pay 25% extra when you buy it from overseas. So guess who had to go overseas to buy her aluminum lids and then pay the 25% to get it to the States and then have a 2-month cash flow to buy from overseas. So these things are important. You also need to really be careful with your time. People will LinkedIn you until you die. You will get a million LinkedIn requests. Hey, you want to have coffee? Hey, when's a good time to connect? Hey, I just thought we had something in common. Let's talk, you know. But they really don't have an agenda. Or there's the ones that send out their spamograms that, oh, you know, have you ever thought of having an ERP system for your computer? Here's what we do. Call me if you, I have time next week, they'll say. What's your schedule like? Delete. Delete. So figure out who you want to spend time with and who's legitimate and who's not. There'll be a lot of spam. Just remember, it's a full-time job. It's not a part-time gig when you start your own company. Okay, this isn't something that you do as a hobby. And then lastly, I want to say, be able to tell people what you do in 5 words or less. I can't tell you how many women's groups that I'm a member of. And I'll ask somebody what they do. Hey, Tracy, what do you do? And then they go into this 2-minute long, here's what I do. And I'm still confused as to what she does. You know, you ask Merrilee Kick, what do you do? I make booze. You know, it's pretty easy. You know, they don't need to know the ins and outs of what I make until they ask. But in general, boil it down to 5 words so that you can tell your grandmother what to do. Okay. So those are the things. One more thing, keep a notebook, a spiral, college-bound, ruled notebook, and date the top line. Always put the date on the top because you will forget when you did something. And keep track of all your notes, all your meetings, all your phone calls. And then you can refer back to that. And it's kind of like a journal. Don't use those little tiny books that the guys will use that make them look executive, because you can't get enough stuff in there. Okay. That's what I have. So I'm happy to take questions.
All right, so real quick, the way we're gonna do it, because we do also have a virtual audience, we're gonna grab one question from them. Kimberly will help us with that, and then I'll grab one from in here. And I think I saw Amy's hand go up, so we'll grab you. So Kimberly, do you have any questions?
We do not have any in the chat just yet, so maybe you can start with the live audience, and I'm sure some will come very soon.
Amy, go ahead with your question.
So looking at the first page, the entrepreneur versus business owner, I definitely fall in one category versus the other. Very aware of my weaknesses. In your experience, was it better for you to really learn the business owner side, or to hire someone else, or be familiar and then hire those people that, like, if you're not good, if your strengths are not in one area?
Well, you still have to have strengths in both areas in terms of like P&L, cash flow, those kinds of things, setting up an office. If you look at the back side of that thing, I talk about the things that both sides have to have. There are things that I'm not as good at, even though I have a degree in marketing. I hired somebody that had 25 years of shopper marketing, that understood e-commerce, understood website design, understood social media setup, understood, you know, and she kind of leads that tranche of stuff going on. I hired my husband because he's a CFO and he looks at things from a different angle than I do. I'm looking at things for trends, year over year trends, like, am I spending too much on marketing? How much is my advertising spend this year versus last year? Where am I losing money? You know, and I'm looking at those types of things. I'm looking at growth. So yes, I would say once you get big enough, maybe 5-10 years in, I don't know, hire somebody, but for the first 5 years, you're gonna be the jack of all trades. You're gonna be shipping, you're gonna be answering phones, you're gonna be mopping the floor, so.
I think we did have some online questions from Kimberly. I see we have an online question.
Yes, our first one, and I'm sure there's multiple answers for this, is what was the hardest struggle about managing a business? And I'm assuming that our entrepreneurs are asking it from a early stage, maybe point.
I think from the earliest stage, the hardest thing is having cash, you know, getting money to do what you need to do. I maxed out my credit cards. I hired my children. You know, I did everything I could to make ends meet. I talked to my people that were buying from me. I gave them net 15 terms because I couldn't afford to give them net 30 terms. Yeah, so I think one of the hardest things is just to get access to cash. And I mean unfettered access to cash, not blanket loans. When you first start your business, a banker will come in and say, we'll take everything you got for this $100,000 or this $25,000 or whatever it is you need. And that's too much to ask. So you need to rein them in and go, okay, I'll give you $25,000 worth of collateral. I'm not giving you my whole business, even though that's easier for you to write in your loan docs.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Excuse me. I want to ask a question on the 4 group of employee that you talk about.
Okay,
But from what I understood from you, so I want you to clarify. Like the third group, which is a low performance and that no one likes, you said that one you fire, right?
yeah, immediately.
Then, okay, so what do you do with the superstar and the lovable losers? What do
The
you do?
lovable losers, I would talk to them and say, hey, quit screwing around, let's get to work. I need to see some performance out of you. And if they don't go on a performance plan, don't perform, then I'd fire them too. Okay. The superstars, be prepared for them to leave. Okay, because they'll jump ship pretty easy for the next extra buck. So look at what skills do they have, get a second that's gonna be coming up in the ranks. Don't expose yourself to say, oh my gosh, my superstar left, what am I gonna do? I didn't think that they could ever leave me.
Okay.
They will.
Very good advice. All right, Kimberly, another question?
Yes, this one is from our Facebook Live community. How did you narrow down or find the factory that you work with, or is it your factory?
Yeah, it's my factory. So I started out renting. I made $3,000 a month as a teacher, and I used all $3,000 of that to rent a warehouse. I didn't pay myself for 2 years. As I've grown, what I did was when the interest rates were low, I just bought a decrepit building and completely gutted it. So I paid $1 million for a building, completely spent a whole bunch of money to get it fixed up, and now I own it. Now everybody's calling me, hey, you want to sell your building? Hey, you want to sell your building? And I've just expanded. Now I do own my building, but I lease other buildings because if ever I were to sell my company, the buyer doesn't want me to own that real estate. They don't want to be bogged down with that much real estate.
Question?
Yes, did you do any, like, alcohol's a pretty popular subject, right? So did you do market research before when you were sitting in your pool and you had this idea?
No. So basically, is that to throw you into the other category? The only research I did was once I created a prototype, I marched myself into a liquor store and I talked to a few liquor store managers and convenience store managers and I said, how would you display this? Where would you put it? How much would someone pay for it? What do you think about it? What questions do you have on it? How strong do you think it needs to be? And how would it, should it be sold by the single or by a 4-pack or by an 8-pack? You know, what do you think?
Okay, and then my follow-up is the partnerships that you mentioned, did they approach you or did you approach them?
What
Like the
partnership?
7-Eleven, the HEB that.
Oh, yeah. So I was at a Dallas Chamber of Commerce luncheon. And I was supporting the Dallas Chamber of Commerce. This is after I had some money, right? So I joined the Dallas Chamber of Commerce, sat next to one of the vice presidents of 7-Eleven, and I said, hey, we sell our product in your stores. We have BuzzBallz. He's like, BuzzBallz? Oh, they're our #1 customer. So he definitely knows us because we're bringing in a lot of profit for him. And I said, well, let me know if you ever want to have a private label someday. So he hooked me up with his team. Like within a week, we came up with a prototype design called Sip Sip Hooray. And within 6 months, it was on the shelf. So why do they want us? Because we're agile, because we're quick, because we have entrepreneurial vision.
Kimberly, another online question?
Yeah, this one is, I think everybody's thinking it, but nobody's willing to ask. And I think the person writing the question is saying that she has sons, and how do you deal with BuzzBallz and dealing with drinking and driving or underage drinking or alcoholism. And I have to say that every time I would go visit my kids in college, and I had 4 at the same time, it became a college weekend for me. And I wish that I would have had BuzzBallz then, but I do see the point of this person's question, and I think a lot of people are probably thinking it. So.
Well, alcoholism is something that is near and dear to me because I lost my brother-in-law to alcoholism.
It's one of those things that you don't know that somebody really has. They don't broadcast that. It's a disease. It's a mental disease, like drug addiction is, and you need help to get over that. In terms of being a manufacturer of alcoholic beverages, we have to do certain things to make sure that we don't have underage drinkers. Like on our website, we have to age gate it. We have to make sure that we don't market to children. I have many schools that call me and say, would you sponsor our football, blah, blah, blah? I'm like, no, I can't. I can't sponsor any of your raffles or your stuff. Can I come speak to LHS? Yes, I can talk about it. I can talk to Ursula and I can talk to the schools, but I don't promote drinking, okay? I promote manufacturing and business know-how. So in terms of my sons, they're all in their, close to 30s now. They have children, they're married. Did I hire them to work for me? Yes, I did, because I didn't have any money and they needed a summer job. So they got to sweep the warehouse. They got to help me package product and do work. It was just a job.
Merrilee, thank you very much for that answer. I think that you may not even know, in just that very short answer, you touched on a lot of really important things. That was great.
Awesome. We have time for one more question. Go ahead.
Did you start out the gate with like a huge vision, or did you start small and eventually expanded your what am I trying to say? Your mission.
My vision.
Your vision.
Okay, yeah. So when I started, I had the idea that I wanted to make colorful drinks, beverages. And so like a green one would be like a margarita, a white one would be a pina colada. So I had to at least have some kind of framework of the product. But did I grow over time? Did I expand that portfolio? Yes. And like I was saying, there is no straight shot to the finish line. You're going to go this way, you're going to make mistakes. For example, one of the mistakes we made was pina colada had coconut cream in it. I didn't know that coconut cream froze at 70 degrees Fahrenheit in a warehouse and it gets clumpy and looks like cottage cheese. That's pretty gross, So like when it's on the food shelf, you're looking at it and going, what's wrong with it? It looks like it's got cottage cheese in there. Tastes great, but it's gross, Just manufacturing lessons. I had real lemon juice and real lime juice in my margarita. Well, that stuff started to spoil and it looked like fish food floating in my drinks. So, you learn manufacturing techniques as you go through it, and then you hire chemists and you hire flavor scientists and you learn by making mistakes. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, you guys. You will make mistakes. Just fail quickly, get up, get going, and figure out what your next jaunt is going to be. Good luck to you guys. I'm looking forward to speaking into LHS in a little bit.
Yeah, in a little bit.
Yeah.
You guys are
Pretty
invited
soon.
too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Well, just thank you. It was such a pleasure having you here today.
We got a little goodie for you.
Oh, geez, thanks.
Program, and thank you everyone for coming today.
All right, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and pull us off Facebook. And Kimberly, the host. Okay, so we're gonna bid farewell to our virtual audience and they're gonna close that out and then we'll close everything out in here. So thank you all for our virtual audience. Kimberly is gonna take care of you and we'll see you guys next week.
Hi, everyone. I am posting in the chat. Well, I thought I was. It's not. Try that again. I was trying to post all the different programs that have opened up. Let me try it another way. we have our Start Her grant has opened. And our Houston incubator has opened. So there's the Start Her grant. I just posted that. And then our Houston incubator is open until October 7th. I'm so excited about on that. It took a lot to get to that point. And then also our Dallas program, that application, the incubator is open until December 1st. So you have a little time, which also can sometimes be bad. You know, the whole thing where the more time you give me, the more time I'll use. So there's some links there. You can always go to the Center for Women Entrepreneurs and find all of our programs in, let's see, I had one more thing I wanted to share with you. I'm sorry. Thank you, Michelle, for the question. Yes, the Start Her does open on 9/22. We're just giving you some a heads up, and that the Dallas one is posted just let's see, 2 messages up from our conversation. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to try to get the chat because there were so many good questions to Merrilee. And I appreciate all of y'all's patience. My first time being a moderator. It's more work. Stephanie makes everything look so easy. It's more work than it seems. Oh, I also wanted to remind y'all that our next WomenRISE is 3 Secrets to Drive Business Engagement, and that's with Tanya Smith. No, I'm sorry, that's our September 29th quarterly evening event. And then our next WomenRISE is with Ann Salick. She's a financial advisor and certified exit planner, which I highly recommend. Our family business is going through some exit planning and it wasn't done well. And I'm realizing how very important the exit plan is, even if you're just starting out. Just and I might be going over time a little bit, but somebody asked that yesterday at Ventures Houston. They asked Gwyneth Paltrow what her exit plan was. And she said that at this time, she wanted to continue doing what she was doing, but one of her pieces of advice is, as you grow in your company, if everyone reports directly to you, you don't have an exit plan. She has one person that reports to her, and then she's got the hierarchy. So I thought that was very interesting. She was very interesting. So thank you all very much. We hope to see you let's see, at the end of September and at the beginning of October. And if y'all have been on here before and I've missed anything, feel free to message me and let me know.
Thank you.
The quarterly is, let me see if I can get that in the chat. Thank you. There's the information on that quarterly, September 29th.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's nice to see you, Michelle.
See you when I see you.
Okay.
September 29th.
Sounds great.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Great presentation today. Thanks.
Yeah, she
I'm gonna
was
try-
good.
I'm gonna
Oh, she was so good.
I'm gonna try
Lane,
to-
thank you. I'm so glad you came. I didn't realize it was your first time.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make your
Thank you,
29th
Kimberly.
meeting.